500 days. Cheers. Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, thank you so much for clicking on this video. If you're not new here, hey, what's up? Here's what happened. My camera got stolen in my rental car. That's a story for a different day. However, I know I did so good posting consistently on YouTube every single day. Vlogmas. I was editing videos in my sleep. Like, I was so committed, and then my camera got stolen. And I stopped posting on YouTube. It's been a couple of years now. But baby, we're back. Sorry to leave you hanging. Today's comeback to YouTube is a little bit of like a where I've been. I'll definitely do a Q&A video and we'll do like a big life update and I'll tell you all everything that's been going on the past couple of years. But one of the bigger life updates I have in my life now is I no longer drink. And today, May 15th, 2025 marks 500 days of not drinking an alcoholic beverage, which is crazy. I think probably one of the last videos I posted was a pub crawl in Santa Monica where we were all like blackout drunk. A lot has changed in the past couple of years and I've been meaning to make something about my journey with alcohol, and I felt like the right vibe for this was a YouTube video. This is where I feel at home. I feel like I could yap to this kind of camera just all day long. Let's get right into it. This is why I stopped drinking alcohol. Let's actually rewind a little bit and go back to my entire journey with alcohol. So I didn't drink in high school at all. I was goody two-shoes, good grades, good kid, no sneaking out, no teen pregnancy. Like, I was very much not drinking. Also, my parents were like, if you want to drink, drink. Like, drink in the house, drink at this family function. Like, my parents were like, you can drink. And I was like, no, like, no. I was honestly a little pretentious about it. I was like, I'm not gonna drink, I'm better than that. But I kind of always had this feeling that once I got to college, like, that's when I would start to party, and party I did. My friend group was definitely like party animals. If there was a theme, we were there. That's when I first started drinking. Of course, I had my dab out nights, like blackout, too drunk. But in college, that's kind of what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to go off and party and graduate from college, still kind of keep partying. It's just like what everybody your age is doing. Like, what do you want to do on Friday night? Let's go to the bars. That's just the vibe of your early 20s. The pandemic came around, and then after the pandemic, I feel like my friends and our mindset was kind of like, let's make up for lost time and go balls to the freaking wall. And then I think a really big turning point for my relationship with alcohol was I moved to LA and I got a serving job at a rooftop bar in Hollywood. And let me tell you, some times were had. If you worked at this rooftop bar or you ever visited me at this rooftop bar, you know that I was definitely drunk while I was there. Once I found out that that was the vibe, like, it was okay for me to just be drunk at work, like, all hell broke loose. And mind you, I got this job with my best friend Jessie, who is very much party girl, very much the friend I was going out with from like college on. So we both were like, oh my gosh, we have this new job and we can get paid to party, paid to drink while we work. And it was just a free-for-all. Like, I'm sure if you worked in restaurants before, you've had experiences where people will take shots from the bar or like people drink here and there. But when I tell you we were not working, we were partying, it was wild. I got to a point where I would not work a single shift. I worked there for almost 3 years. The last year and a couple months I was sober. First year and a half that I was there, I increasingly got to the point where I would take 5 shots on a shift and barely even be drunk. I had a buzz going, but I was serving my tables like normal. Like, I was probably giving them even better service than if I wasn't drunk. I'm sure it led to like mistakes a lot of times too. Like, when I tell you this place that I worked at should have had its own reality TV show, because it was like everybody there was drinking, people liked each other, people We're always causing drama about each other. Like, it was so fun. And as much as it was like super fun, super party, like super slay, it was also getting to a point where it was like, okay, girl, calm down. And in my head, I think one of the things that kind of got my wheels turning of like, oh wait, is this a problem? Is I once said to myself, it's fine, I only drink when I work. First of all, that's crazy. The fact that you're drinking at work is weird. I was full-time, so it's not like only when I'm working, it's like 5 days a week. And before I decided to really take this seriously and stop drinking, I had been a little sober curious before I had done like a couple months without drinking. I gave it up for Lent. I had kind of tested the waters. I just, luckily enough, I'm so grateful that I got to this place, but I looked at myself and I was like, you're not going down a good path. I just knew if I continued on the way I was, first of all, alcohol is horrible for your body. And I'm someone who loves like fitness and being active, and it just didn't really make sense that I was like exercising so much and trying to keep my body healthy, but then like poisoning it with so much alcohol. Something else that kind of opened my eyes, and this is absolutely zero tea or shade to anybody, because I'm lucky enough to where I was able to just stop my bad habits in its track. I can't even imagine being someone with alcoholism and struggling to fight addiction. Everybody is different, and this is absolutely in no way to like shame anybody, but I saw people that I knew in this industry that were definitely alcoholics and were doing things that put themselves and others in danger, like driving drunk. And I just looked at those behaviors and the lifestyle, and I was like, girl, where do you want your relationship with alcohol to go from here? Because if you continue on the way you are, it's gonna go downhill really, really fast. I couldn't really silence that. I know a lot of people's biggest thing with alcohol is like anxiety and hangovers. I didn't really get anxiety. Hangovers, far and few. I was pretty lucky, but I guess could be considered anxiety, but that voice in my head telling me like, girl, something's not right, would not shut up. So I knew something's gotta change. So it started off as a New Year's resolution for myself. For the entire year of 2024, I was just not going to drink. And I did it. And afterwards, I thought, I'm just gonna keep doing it. Was it tough? Yes. Do I miss drinking? Yes. And will I drink again? I don't really know. I think the biggest thing people want to know when I tell them that I don't drink anymore is how it's improved my life. So I will say that I've seen many improvements. One thing that little voice in my head wouldn't stop saying was, you're literally never gonna hit your fitness goals and do what you want to do if you don't stop skipping the gym because you're hungover, or like eating fast food because you're drunk. In terms of fitness, not drinking helped so much in me staying consistent and in eating. I mean, I still kind of eat bad, but like whatever, life is short. Overall, everything health and wellness wise, I do feel has been a positive change in my body. I will say that I did notice like a snatch in my jawline for sure, and just less inflammation in general. I just felt like I was always puffy when I was drinking all the time, and now I really feel that way. Maybe if I eat like a lot of olives, because they're high in sodium. I think at some point I calculated that I was spending on average around like $50 a month on alcohol, which isn't that much because I was drinking for free at work all the time. But I mean, after a year, like $50 a year, you can at least spend on other stuff. This wouldn't be real if I didn't discuss the cons of not drinking, and I think they're kind of like to be expected, but it is hard to put yourself in social situations when you don't have a little bit of liquid courage. And that's coming from me. I'm somebody who could talk to mostly anybody, but I do feel like having that little alcohol blanket over you for like 10 years and then suddenly going to these like social events or like out to a bar with no alcohol definitely feels weird. Oh, my biggest concern to navigate too last year was dating. I hated dating when I first stopped drinking. I was like, I need a glass of wine, a shot before I go on this date, like just something to help with the jitter. And some guys would be like, do you want to go for a drink? And I'd be like, I don't drink, but like, I guess. And it's like, I would sit there and drink a soda water. Oh, I just hated the idea of like being on a date completely sober. It was hard. I still put myself out there and I still did go on dates. Now it's just kind of like, I know I won't put up with someone being like, do you want to go get a drink? I'll be like, no. Overall though, I do think the pros outweigh the cons. It takes some getting used to being at social things sober, but I am proud of myself for sticking through and doing it, especially in those tough times. Every time I'm in one of those situations where it's like, oh, it would be much easier to just drink right now, I try to remind myself, you're doing this for your health and you don't need alcohol to have a good time, and just kind of try to rewire my brain, not be so negative about not being able to, and just think of the bright sides, like everybody else is gonna feel kind of shitty tomorrow morning and I'm not, or like they're really embarrassing themselves because they're drunk and like I'm not, even though I've definitely embarrassed myself enough for like 5 lifetimes. So all this to say, it is doable, and it's not gonna be easy because I think alcohol is just like really normal in our society, and it's kind of expected that you drink, and you will get a lot of why aren't you drinking. I do get asked a lot why I don't drink. I don't mind talking about it. Obviously I don't mind sharing my story. I will say I don't know that that's like the most courteous thing to ask people though. Like, I'm not asking you why you are drinking. So, and you never really know, it can be like a little uncomfortable or like triggering for someone to talk about. So if you give any advice to people who are watching this video for purely entertainment purposes and not because they're curious about going sober at all, then you don't have to point out that I'm not drinking, okay? And I really appreciate it when people say that like they're proud of me and stuff for doing it, but maybe not everybody wants it like announced. Anyways, on the chance that you are somebody who is watching this right now, maybe because you are a little curious about not drinking, if you have any questions, my DMs are always open. I'm also gonna link some resources for anyone just kind of struggling with their journey with alcohol or trying to fix their relationship with alcohol, anything like that. Overall, 500 days later, I would say I am way happier with my relationship to alcohol now than I was 500 days ago. Will I ever drink again? I don't really know. Initially, when I started this, it was to be just a New Year's resolution. Then I thought, why not keep going? And I didn't feel like I was ready to get to a place with alcohol where I could maybe just have a glass of wine or have a glass of champagne. I'm not all there yet. I couldn't promise you that if I went and had a drink tomorrow, it wouldn't turn into like multiple drinks, because that's what I really lacked, was like the discipline to like have a healthy balance with it. I didn't have that. Do I feel like I'll ever get there? Maybe, hopefully one day. I don't think it's the end of the world if I don't ever drink again. I also think about sometimes how I'd like to be a little tipsy at like my wedding one day, but I am proud of what I've accomplished thus far. And thank you to anybody who has known me through this journey and has helped encourage me. That is it for this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Oh my god, I haven't said that in so long. Wait, YouTube, we're back. I love making YouTube videos. I'm gonna make another one right now. I'm like literally so hyped. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I'm sorry if I stared at myself the whole time instead of looking into the camera. I think I did once.